Hello, my name is Lakeisha Smith. I'm a student at Tarleton State University where I'm taking business communications online, and my professor is Dr. Dunn. My final presentation subject is being a teacher's advocate. First and foremost, I want to say that I am a teacher advocate. Right now, I currently work for a school district where I am in an area where I support education and educators from every area that's needed to get through the day successfully. I see the ins and outs of what teachers have to do in order to make sure that our children successfully learn what it is that's needed to be learned. I wanted to bring up, first and foremost, the media coverage that has occurred last month, April 2018, where the teachers have went out in Oklahoma and they've started to protest. I wanted to put in a disclaimer that I'm not sure prior to April whether there was another instant where teachers kind of went out in a vulnerable state to kind of let the public know what is going on. My only recollection is the one from this past April, where teachers just want to let the public know, the parents know, the administrators know that we need help, we need support, we need advocates, because with the cut of funding, no pay raises, more disciplinary issues, more school shootings, and all these things of that nature, things are starting to get a little bit more difficult. Things are starting be a little bit more harder in order for us to educate your child, and it's starting to be at a point where it's hard to pull a rabbit out of the hat to do things on paper that says that teachers are pulling a rabbit out of the hat of teachers doing what it is that they are required to do. General teaching from the past to the present, as far as keeping your kids safe, as far as teaching your kids, keeping the room tidy, reporting to teachers, other teachers, reporting to parents if there are any red flags. Those things are pretty much, the same. It used to be, I was doing a little research. Now I am not an expertise at all, but I have been doing research for this final presentation purpose. And there was a case where, 1840s, 1900s, where things such as a pregnant mom that was a teacher was jeopardizing to your child's education, or a smoker or a drinker. Things of those natures were a jeopardy to a child's education. Now, in the present tense, in the new generation, you have a pregnant mom, go out, have your baby, heal, jump back on board so that we can get you in, so that we can educate our students. The cut in funding has really made things hard. This was one of the things that the teachers going out in Oklahoma were trying to get across. This is not just about pay. This is not just about money. This is about, we do not have the necessary resources. We do not have the necessary things in place to educate your children. The school districts are not providing the necessary things that we need to educate your children. So with school funding being cut, and when I speak of school funding, I'm speaking of your Title I schools because I only have experience in Title I schools. I can't speak for anything different. This may relate to another level of school district. This may not. I just do not want to misinform anyone. So I do want to put the disclaimer that I'm speaking on a Title I school foundation. So when the school funding is cut, we're talking about teachers having to go into their own pocket to buy school supplies. We're talking about teachers having to work after their 8 to 5 or their 7 to 4, where they're having to go home and continue their job because they didn't have an adequate amount of time during that 8 hour period to do the things that they needed. I'm so sorry. This is my daughter. She's not in school yet. Okay, I'm doing homework. Go in there with your big sisters. Go. Go. Okay, I'm going to continue. They just need help because the funding is being cut, and they need help with school supplies. They need help with tutoring resources. They need help with resources to reach out to parents to let them know, okay, we need your help in helping to educate your child. And when the school funding is cut, we're talking about also that we're taking time away from teachers' lives with their family because they are having to cut their family's life in order to make sure that their children in the classroom get what they need. Um, I definitely would like to discuss the abuse that teachers experience. And you may be thinking, abuse, yes. Our teachers are experiencing a lot of emotional and mental abuse. We have our students that are behavior issues that they are not being held accountable. So when they are not being held accountable, they feel like they can go back into the classrooms and they can continue to do all the things that they do to get attention because they probably aren't getting attention at home. So let's go in the classroom and let's cause all these distractions and let's be of a disturbance so that I can get attention because I'm not getting attention at home. And that leaves the teacher vulnerable because when you have a true teacher that have a passion for what they do, of course, they're going to render aid. But then in the meantime and in between time, you have your normal students that's sitting waiting to actually learn because we have our teachers here trying to support and be there for children that are not getting the things or the support that they need at home. So that leaves the whole classroom in a vulnerable state. That leaves the disciplinary children in a vulnerable state because they need special attention. And these are our normal kids in a vulnerable state because they need the regular attention. And then not to even mention our kids that really just don't get it. That's a little bit slower than the other children, where they need that extra help. So it's a huge issue. It's an issue that I feel like we all need to pay attention to, that we're not paying attention to, because there's so much other things as far as politics, economics, our own lives, our own jobs, our own lives. So You may find yourself dropping off your daughter, your son, your grandchildren, your nieces, your nephews off at school in the morning. I love you, bye. But it's more to it than that. So overall, this presentation was just to say that it's not just our teachers' pay, although that is very important. That's needed. I feel like they deserve, a annual pay, us or and different other incentives to help them see that they are appreciated, but more funding, more resources, and more help from parents, more help from grandparents, more help from aunts, uncles, cousins. It takes a village to raise children, and teaching does not just stop in the classroom. Teaching just does not start in the classroom. Teaching is beyond that. Every opportunity that any adult has to teach a child, that's when we should teach. We should not wait or depend on anybody else to have that responsibility. It's all our responsibility. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I hope that I have said something that have triggered you into being more active into a child's life. Thank you, Dr. Dunn, for being such a spectacular professor. Hope you guys had a great semester, and hope you have a even more greater summer. Bye.